Well, good afternoon, and thanks for joining us this afternoon for this Facebook marketing session. My name's Megan Hutchison from Kiama Council, and we're joined today for all of these series of webinars by the Kiama District Business Chamber. And these sessions have been amazingly well subscribed. Today we've reached our maximum numbers of 100, which was excellent. Last week's Instagram webinar, we had 73 logged on, and we do have more sessions planned for the next couple of weeks. So we'll be promoting those via Eventbrite and also via a variety of different channels. So great news that they've been so well received. I will welcome Cameron McDonald, President of the Kiama District Business Chamber, to say a few words to you before handing over to Glenn Hayworth of Resolve Business Coaches.
Yeah. You'll have to mute yours.
Rightio, let's do that.
Thanks, Megan. I'm getting a little bit of feedback, but I'll continue on. Welcome today. Thanks for joining us all. The Kiama District Business Chamber is very proud to be presenting this series of webinars, particularly thanks to Glenn from Resolve Coaching for putting this one on, and Wade, who will get an introduction, I'm sure, later from Glenn. And thanks to Megan. Work closely as a chamber with Megan, who's the Economic Development Manager for Council, and it's initiatives like this that are very important, especially from this particular time that we're all living through. And marketing strategies for businesses have really become to the forefront with some of these government shutdowns. So this is really important before, during and after the COVID crisis, how to get your businesses out there, how to present yourself well in that social media spectrum. So thanks for joining us. I'd like to also thank Lisa Kelsey, who's in the chamber here, Business Development Manager, who's works very closely with Council and with Megan to hopefully present these worthwhile opportunities for you. So without further ado, if I'd hand over to Glenn so we can start our webinar.
Great, thanks Cam, and thanks Megan, and thanks also to Lisa and the Business Chamber there too. Guys, welcome to the Marketing on Facebook webinar. Gee, we've had a really great response for this webinar. We've had to cap it at 100 participants, and you know, when we started these webinars, Megan and I were just talking about that just before, about how when we started these webinars, we weren't sure how many people we were going to get, and to get over 100 people, we had to actually say to probably about 30, 40 people, sorry, we'll send you the recording, because we capped out at 100. So it's been a really good response to these webinars. So thanks to Megan for having the initiative to put these on. It's been a pleasure to do. So we'll get into it today. Now, first of all, I'm going to start talking about my portion of the webinar, and then I'm going to hand over to Wade Stewart here, who partners with me in Resolve Business Coaching, but also has Atmosphere Productions too in Kiama here. So let's get in it, and you guys, there is so much value in this webinar today. I just know you're going to get a lot out of this, so let's get into it. Okay, so if you've been on the previous webinars, you know probably by now who I am. If you haven't, I'm from Hayworth Guitars. I have a retail business in the Illawarra. We went from a small mum and dad music store, we've grown online, and now basically 50% of all of our revenue comes from online. So we're using this as a framework with our Resolve Business Coaching here in Kiama to help other businesses achieve similar results. So today I want to talk about what's in it for you. Today I'm going to go into the difference between a Facebook group and a Facebook page and show you guys examples of that and the benefits of both. We're going to talk about how to send traffic from your Facebook to your website. We're going to talk about the different types of content that you can create, from images to video to Facebook Live videos, which have been very powerful, and Facebook events. And really this is going to be about how to gain more customers and build an audience using Facebook. And then Wade is going to talk about the Facebook ads component. So how to actually, when you go into the paid advertising, how to do Facebook ad campaigns as well, which is just super, super valuable for businesses at the moment, to really target into an audience and create your Facebook funnels from there. So look, let's start with the basics. Okay, so look, I've been talking to Karen, who is the head of Visit Kiama, and basically the Kiama Tourism, and she said, look, we need to make sure businesses in Kiama have the basics first of all. And so I wanted to make a point of this, and look, really your Facebook page or your Facebook group, it needs to have these details. It needs to have your website in there. It needs to have your address. A good thing to have right now is your opening hours, particularly if they've changed with everything that's going on at the moment. And I wanted to mention too that this group that Karen set up, Kiama at Home, has 800 or more members, and it's a place where you can promote your business if you're in the Kiama area. So I would definitely jump on that group to start off with if you're a business in the area, and you can begin to promote yourself in there as well. That can be a good start. Also, I just wanted to mention before we really get into things that Facebook do have small business grants available at the moment with everything that's going on. The website to check out, go to facebook.com/business/boost/grants. And you can find out if you're eligible to apply for a Facebook small business grant to help with your Facebook marketing. So that can be a useful tool for you as well. All right, now let's get into it. So Facebook page versus a Facebook group. I've used Hayworth Guitars as an example with the Facebook page because that is a major part of our marketing at Hayworth. It is huge, our Facebook page. We use that a lot. We're posting on it multiple times per day. We're sending a lot of traffic to our website from there. And I wanted to use the example of a local business called Coastal Fitness Movement. It's actually a gym that I go to. And they have a really good model set up when it comes to Facebook groups. So I'm going to be using them as an example as well. All right, so why would you get into a Facebook page? Let's talk about the differences here. So a Facebook page, it's really, it can really be a great landing page for your business. It can have all your business information there. You know, it's great. Obviously, we're in retail. It can be great for a retail or larger businesses. And it can just be a great place. If you don't have a website set up, then having a Facebook page set up, it could be quite easy to do, to have all your information there. Facebook pages, look, they're a great way to really build leads and to find more potential customers to bring them into your business. It does tie in well, as we talked about last week with Instagram. If you're using Instagram for business, then your Facebook page can tie in well with that so that you can sync them together. So when you post to Instagram, it can instantly post to your Facebook page at the same time. And there's also benefits when you're doing paid advertising in that to link your Instagram and pages together. So that's where a Facebook page is good in that instance. Your Facebook page can be a good way to drive traffic to your website. It also ties in well with doing Facebook ads, which Wade's going to talk about later in the webinar. And it's easier to manage a Facebook page than a group a lot of the time. And I'm going to tell you why in the next slide here. Because as we talk about Facebook pages versus Facebook groups are more ideal if you're looking at a member kind of business structure. If you've got, for example, the gym, Coastal Fitness Movement, or we've also got a music school at Hayworth Music School, we have a Facebook group for. It's really good for managing members because you can send out notifications to these members, and they're going to get that notification on Facebook whenever you post in that group. So they'll get a notification. They'll be able to see updates. You know, if you've changed your opening times or different structures in the business, what's happening at the moment. You know, with everything going on right now, it can be a good opportunity to do that. But it's also good to build rapport with your members, and also it's great for them to feel like they're a part of something. In the gym example I'm going to go into, but basically, they've got such a great rapport with their members because they're all a part of this group together. It's a private group. So in order to be in that group, you actually have to be a member of the gym. But it's a way they can provide notifications. They can stay connected with their audience. They can let them know when things change. And it's also a good opportunity too, if you do have things coming up like for example, at Coastal Fitness Movement, they have a 10-week challenge coming up. And if you want to get people to opt into that, then they go to their members in that group and offer the chance to subscribe to a new challenge. So I've put here too that it's ideal for member-based businesses, gyms and music schools is an example that I've used there too. So I'm going to go into more detail in the Facebook page and how that looks and how we use that for our marketing. So look, there's a couple of different uses that we use our Facebook page for. One is that we promote our image content. So we'll take photos of our stock, of our products, and we'll put them up on the Facebook page and provide links to our website, which our followers can go to our website and look at that product and potentially look at making a purchase. It's great for making video content. And what we really do there is to inform and provide value for our audience. And we use it for live videos as well. It's a really good way to use live videos. We also use Facebook events through our page. And we also use it for Facebook advertising too. So I'm going to get into this. So I'm going to talk about live videos to start with. Look, at the moment, live videos, I just had a session with Jess from South Coast Hair and Makeup just before, and we had a chat about what she could be doing in her business. I think she's in on this webinar, so g'day to Jess. Basically, live videos, I said to her, look, people want to know right now how you're doing in your business. Your customers want to know how you're going. Things have changed. They know it's difficult right now for businesses. So people want to know how you're doing and what things are you doing differently now to adapt to the current climate. So live videos can be a good way to do that. Live videos, the reason I love live videos is because as soon as you go live, it sends out a notification to your audience, to your followers, right? So as soon as you go live, Facebook loves that. Facebook will really rank that well organically, and it will appear in the notifications for a lot of your followers. So basically at Haworths, what I'll do is, to give you an example, basically every Tuesday, Thursday, when I go to the Wollongong store, I grab one of my staff members, Ryan, who's great. You know, he's not super, you know, out there and extroverted on camera. He just loves his gear. He loves his guitars. But basically, I'll just be filming him behind the camera, and we'll just be pitching and catching, talking about the gear that's arrived, talking about, you know, the different stock in the shop at the moment. We'll be asking the audience questions. They'll be writing comments in there. We'll be able to have some to and fro between us and our audience. But we'll also put out things like, we'll say, you know, send through a request and Ryan will play it on the guitar, and just have a bit of fun banter with our audience. But it also, what it does really, it helps to promote a more human side of your business by going live. And look, a lot of people, clients of ours and people I've talked to have sort of said, well, I don't want to go live. It's a bit nerve-wracking. You know, what if I make a mistake? What if I say something stupid? But look, it does take practice, but your audience really want to see that genuine side of you. They want to see a side of you where maybe you do make a mistake, maybe you do say something wrong, or maybe you aren't that confident on camera, and that's okay, because really I feel like your audience wants to see that human side of you, a human side of your business, and so that's what live videos are great for. They're great to show that human element to your business. You can include your staff, you can include your team. And look, I said to Jess from South Coast Hair and Makeup, she's not doing makeup obviously at the moment for the restrictions or hair, but she's looking to put out some live videos and some video content just on some tips and tricks on how to do hair a certain way. I mean, I'm not a hairstylist, I don't know the different style, but how to do a hair a certain way, how to do tips on doing your makeup, because obviously that's something that people are doing more at home at the moment, experimental with those things. So putting out live videos also with tips and tricks. I mean, we've made videos on how to restring your guitar and how to service your guitar and things like that. That can be a really valuable thing for your live videos too. So consider live videos. They can be a great way to reach your audience on your Facebook page. Also, how to take the right live video. You can actually invite your guest to join in the live video too. So if your guest, you can say, all right, request to join the video, and I'll include you. So they can hit request to join, and you can include them in that live video if you want to as well. But basically, it's all about just being yourself, making it fun, asking questions, and giving shout outs to whoever's joined and what people are saying and that sort of thing. And this is really all about community building rather than selling. So this is just about building that community, building that trust with your audience. We don't typically say, buy now, get in quick, this is a bargain. Sometimes we might, but most of the time it's really just all about just showcasing what great things would we have and talking about that with our customers. Okay, so the next thing I'll talk about is the other use that we use our pages for is really putting up these nice images. Obviously, in the retail business, we want to be showcasing the products that we have. So here's an example of what we've done here. We've taken a nice photo of a guitar. We've listed it on our Facebook page. We've posted it on our Facebook page. We've used some engaging text. We can actually tag the product. If you have it linked, your website have it linked to your Facebook page in terms of your catalog, you can actually tag the product, which can make it easy for your audience to find out the price, to find out more about that product. They can go through to that product on your website easier. But we'll also include a link there to the website where people can go. We provide a call to action. So look, when we're doing a post, if it's an image, if it's a product that we're promoting, we'll say, you know, here's this guitar, say a little bit about the guitar, but we'll post a link and we'll say, have a look online. You can see that I've said people look online by tapping the link or pop in for a play. And then sometimes I'll ask a question to encourage more engagement in the comments. In that one I wrote, what riff are you playing on this one? Basically, we want to provide a call to action to give your audience somewhere to go. Ultimately, it's great to have a lot of people following you on Facebook, but at the end of the day, if you're not capturing that audience, if you're not converting that audience into customers, then what's the point, right? We want to be sending them to our website where they can find out more. They might want to opt into our email database, or they might want to purchase that product. Now, in terms of boosting, I do boost the products that I put up. I do boost our posts. Wade's going to talk about it a little bit more later as well about boosting. I do boost the products normally when we put it up. I'll put a small boost on there. I've got a budget that I set aside for that sort of thing. And I'll usually just target, you can target, you know, your followers. So it goes to all of your followers, or you can target a specific audience. I usually target just our followers because the people who've already liked our page are usually already our customers. So I want to get that message out there to them. I've talked about this on the Instagram one, so I probably won't go into it too much on this one, but basically taking the right photo is important. You know, making sure there's plenty of light, making sure it's something interesting and engaging, and take more photos than you need. Store all those photos in your phone so that you can pick the right one later and try and use consistent photo styles. So as I said with the written text, you know, you want to use enticing words for your audience, include links to the website, and sometimes we'll ask an engaging question and add a call to action there as well. So the other type of content that we do on our Facebook pages that I'd recommend is doing these featured videos. So, you know, you can make a live video, which is great, which is more just spontaneous on the spot. But you can also do more of a featured video. This is a video that we did with Wade, actually, from Atmosphere, and who'll be joining us later. He made this video for us. It was a professionally shot video. We just talked about this new guitar range that just came in from Fender, and we made it fun and entertaining. And the reason that we love doing videos on Facebook is, Wade's going to talk about this too, but basically you can pull that audience. Facebook will keep that audience. Whoever's watched that video, whether it be your live video, whether it be a featured video like this, Facebook will actually keep that audience for you. And then you can remarket to that audience because you already know they're interested in what you're offering. You already know that they're interested. Then you can remarket to them with an offer. It's a much better way than just putting out an ad on Facebook and just trying to, you know, hit you know, a couple of potential customers. This is a better way of finding out who's interested, put out a video, gather that audience, who's watched the video, who's interested, and then marketing to that audience. It's something that we do with our music school as well. You might, if you're a parent in the Illawarra, you might have already seen our music school ads that go out there. All we do is Wade and I made a video, which was an instructional video, just informing people the benefits of learning music as a kid. What are the benefits of learning music? It was just to inform people. Whoever watched that video on Facebook, we then remarketed to them with our offer, which was a free guitar when you sign up for lessons, the Creative Kid voucher, here's how you sign up. And we get a lot of inquiries from that because that ad is going out to an audience who are already interested in what we're offering. So that was something that Wade and I did together, which works really well for our music school too. So that's why we love videos. That's why we love putting video content out there, but also it's more engaging. A video is much more engaging than seeing some text come up or even an image. And what sort of videos do you do, by the way? Can you do? Providing some tips and tricks, providing some how-to videos, particularly now. I mean, if you've got time, if you're at home, now this can be a great time to start providing some tips and tricks and some how-to videos for your audience. As I said with the makeup example, you know, what we do with the guitar business as well is we'll often do some videos on how to restring a guitar, tips and tricks and things, but providing that content to your audience. And then even if, you know, you're not trying to sell your audience here, but the best thing that can come out of this too is that you get that audience to use later for your marketing and your advertising. I already talked about a lot of the advantages of video on Facebook. Wade's going to go into this more as well. The other thing that we do on our Facebook page is we create events. If you have something coming up, I love Facebook events. Why do I love Facebook events? Well, because they're free to create. Like you can create an event. It doesn't cost you anything. You can then go and invite all of your friends on Facebook. You can ask your staff and your friends to invite people as well. But instantly, as soon as you invite someone to an event that you've created on Facebook, they'll see that notification come up. They'll see Glenn Haworth has invited you to the 3rd annual Illawarra Drum Expo, right? and it's going to just inform people what it's all about. Then they can go to the event and find out more information. This is something that we did for our drum expo that we hosted in our drum room, obviously back in October. And all we did was we invited all of our friends on Facebook, all of our customers, but I actually promoted that event to a specific audience. So Wade's going to talk about this too, but I found the audience, I found people on Facebook who like drums, who are interested in drumming, right? And who live anywhere from Sydney down to Canberra, including the Illawarra as well. I promoted this event to them. I boosted it. Obviously, you know, I paid some money. I had a budget for it. I boosted the event. It went to that audience, and we had, this event was amazing. We had, I don't know if you can see there, it says 400 people were interested in attending this event. So 400 people actually clicked, I'm interested in this event. I want to find out more. And we had hundreds of people on the day come in, and a lot of them came from Sydney and from Canberra and those areas that I promoted it to. Because, and I asked them, I said, how'd you find out about this? They said, we saw the event on Facebook. So creating an event can be a great way to on Facebook to get the word out, particularly if you do boost it to that targeted audience. But also, I mean, if you have a big sale coming up, or if you have a, you know, for a gym, you know, as I talked about with Coastal Fitness, a 10-week challenge coming up that you want to promote. You know, any events coming up in your business that you want to promote, create an event, and then you can store all the information in there. You can be posting in there, but it's a good way to invite your audience to that event and to get the word out that way. So I love using events as well. But look, when it comes to your Facebook page, the keys are pretty simple. Whatever you do, whatever content that you do, if you're going to do images, if you're going to do focus on text and writing more of a text format, if you're going to use video, if you're going to do live videos, if you're going to create events, you need to keep it consistent. This is probably the biggest thing with social media and with Facebook. You need to be posting daily. So you need to be getting some sort of content up there every day. And the way to do that, to make that effective and to make that work for you, is to really create a content schedule. So what's a content schedule? Well, look, my guys know that every single Friday morning, I come in and we do a featured video that we've already got the products picked out, what we're going to do. But every Friday morning, we do that. It's locked into the calendar. They know that every Tuesday and Thursday we go live. They know that, right? And I have in my schedule that every Monday and every Wednesday, I'll take photos of the products, which I'll then post later. So create a schedule in your diary or in your phone, however you do it, a content schedule. What days are you going to collect the content? What days are you going to post them? This is really the key to making it work. I mean, Tony Robbins talks about it. If it's a dream, if you talk about it, it's a dream. You know, if you plan it, it's possible, but when you schedule it, that's when it becomes real. So create a schedule in your diary. What days are you going to gather this content, and when are you going to post it? Okay, now I'm just going to go into Facebook groups. So I wanted to use Coastal Fitness Movement as an example because they're doing a great job in their Facebook groups. We use groups as well in our business, but I really think these guys are doing a fantastic job. It's a gym that I'm part of, and they're doing a fantastic job with Facebook groups. So look, I talked to them about this, and they gave me their feedback. They said, look, we love groups. We love using a group because you get great community feedback off your audience. You can send your members notifications when things change and when you want them to know something. Great for building rapport, for building trust. And it can be good for if you have offers that you want to present to your audience, they're usually more likely to jump on board if they're members in a group rather than a page, which is a little bit more impersonal typically. So let's talk about community feedback. Here's a post that I grabbed that Alyssa put up. I checked with AJ, by the way, if it was okay to share this. He said, yep, no worries. But basically she put a post up that said, this is going back a while. What do you guys want to see more at the gym? This is when things were changing. Do you want to see more home workouts? 47 people have voted on home workouts. Do you want to go to the gym as normal, personalized programs? But she's gathering data. She's gathering feedback of her audience and able to adjust her approach. And groups can be a great way to do that with her members. It's all about that constant and never-ending improvement, that can I statement. You know, I like to use that as an example because it's really, this is how you can move your business forward, is to gain feedback from your audience. And groups are a great way to do that. I mean, it's typically a member-based, setup where your members are a part of something and they feel like they can contribute to something, and you can move your business forward by getting that feedback. The next thing is, as I talked about, member notifications. Here's a post here that James has put up of the new program times to let their members know when things have changed. And it can be more effective than email. People are on Facebook much more often than they are on email these days, typically. So it can be a great way to let your audience know what's happening in your business. but also great at building rapport. Look, the more you can really connect with your audience and provide that great value, the more they're going to become raving fans and to be going out there and talking about your business. So it creates a great positive word of mouth. And here's an example, AJ put up a post saying, "Happy birthday to the devil, Letitia Beringer, 38 years young." She's one of the trainers there, but also putting up some Monday morning motivation, some Gary Vee there. And look, it just helps to build rapport, to build that connection with your audience. These are the sort of things that they're putting up in their group to really build that community. And here's something I noticed them doing as well, which I thought was great, is Alyssa's put a post up here to say, all right, I'm taking orders for merchandise. Tell me what you want. And she's got 37 or so comments there of people saying, can I get this size? Can I get this? Look, that's so much easier to do when you've got great rapport with people through something like a Facebook group than if I was to put something like that up on a Facebook page. I don't think I'd get anywhere near the response that they got. They have such a great rapport, such a tight-knit group of just a few hundred members that they can put up posts like this and say, hey, here's an offer that we've got. Here's something that, do you want to get more merch? Do you want to get more gear, more supplements, or whatever it is? Here, just send us a message and they can go ahead and order that product for them. And a lot of people are jumping on board on that because that rapport is there, because that connection's there, and really because these guys are putting the time and effort to provide that value up front. As I said there, it's all about giving that value first and then asking. They put in a lot of time with their audience to build that trust, to build that rapport, to provide value for them. So when they do ask, a lot of people are going to feel compelled to take them up on that offer. So to summarize, Facebook page, look, for your business. So we need to think about what's right for your business. Should you go into a Facebook page, or should you do a Facebook group, or should you do both? Look, as a general rule of thumb, Facebook pages are good if you just want to have some basic business information. If you want something that's relatively easy to manage, good for retail businesses providing products, and good for larger businesses. If you're going to be honest with yourself and say, look, I don't have the time to be on this all day, to be writing back to members and everything else, then perhaps a Facebook page is for you. It can be a great way to find leads and to find more customers. But Facebook group is really about creating a community of members, which you can just consistently provide value to. So as I said, it's great for these guys, Coastal Fitness with their gym. We use it for our music school, but basically any type of business that has members and you want to be communicating with them and providing notifications and getting their feedback on things and creating more of a community, then a Facebook group can be a good idea for you. So it's really about what's suited to your business. If you're not sure, then ask us. We have the chat feature open today in the webinar. So all you need to do is just jump on a chat and pop in some questions. We're going to do some Q&A at the end of this webinar too with myself and Wade, and Megan's going to ask us some questions. So if you've got a question about the Facebook page or Facebook group, what should you go into? We're happy to answer those questions for you as well. If you do have any more in-depth questions or something really in-depth that you want to know more of a detailed answer on, then you can always email me or Wade. It's just Glenn with 2 N's at resolvecoaching.com.au, and it's Wade at resolvecoaching.com.au, just for anything more in-depth like that. So to sum up my part of the webinar, look, Facebook page, it's more leads and customer focused. Facebook group, more community and member focused. And whatever you do with your content, if you're creating images, text, live video, featured videos, events, keep it consistent. Make it engaging and fun, but keep it consistent. Make sure you're posting every day. And a good line that I like to remember is, I think Gary Vee said this, document, don't create. It's like sometimes we put so much pressure on ourselves to create the perfect piece of content, to create the perfect video or the perfect photo for Facebook, that we don't end up doing anything, right? So it's more important about documenting your day, documenting what's happening in your business, what you're doing. That's why the live videos are great to document that. Do a quick live video. Hey, we're open today. We're in here. Here's what we're doing. The guys at Empire 23, who we've been working with as a client in the coaching, are doing a great job at this, doing live videos and making video content to let people know what's happening in their business and the new website they've just launched. So creating that content, think about it as documenting your day. People are interested to find out what you're doing, what you're offering, how you're going through all these crazy times at the moment. So think about it as documenting rather than creating. And Wade's going to get into now more on the Facebook ad side of things. Here's my email, as I said, glenn@resolvecoaching.com.au. Shoot us an email or send through a chat message if you have questions. We're going to do questions at the end. I'm really excited for you guys to hear what Wade has to say. Wade Stewart is he's a genius when it comes to Facebook advertising, and he's helped us a lot in Hayworth Guitars in our advertising as well, but he's helped a lot of businesses in the area set up their Facebook ads. So I want to introduce him, and I really think you guys are going to get a lot of value out of his portion of the presentation. So Wade, I'm handing over to you, my friend. Would you like me to stop the share there?
Yes, please, and thank you. Okay.
There you go. You should be able to share your screen there and get into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Wade Stewart.
Okay, so thanks, Glenn, and thanks, everyone. I'm going to quickly talk today about the Facebook ads platform and the easiest way to get into it, and then probably the more advanced way to use the tool. So, anyone who's used Facebook before has probably seen that little boost button down the bottom. What that is basically doing is allowing you to pay to have your content promoted on Facebook. So it's a pay-to-play system, Facebook now, for businesses. It used to be you get a really good organic reach on everything, but now it's basically, if you want to reach the right people with your content, you do have to pay to play. So boosting posts is the easiest and the fastest way to use the paid promotion feature on Facebook. Boosting is a lot better than what it used to be, but still has its limitations. And it's also most effective when you've got predefined audiences, which I'll go into a little bit later, that have already been set up in the Facebook Business Manager. So to boost a post, it's quite simple. It's you just need to have an ads account set up, which is very easy to step through, but you'll get the option to come through and actually choose what you want to do. But as I said before, these options are limited, and it's only sort of really quick if you want to get the content out there. Like what Glenn says, we've got it set up and pre-ready to go that we're going to boost all of his content straight back to the people who are already engaged with his brand. So it's quite an easy and simple way to get into. It is effective, but it's not the best way to do things. So the best way to do things is using the Facebook Ads Manager. And to access the Facebook Ads Manager, you can actually do it through normal Facebook, but to open up the best way to do it using all the tools is by signing up with a free account on the Business Manager. So it's just, if you just go to business.facebook.com, you'll be able to sign up an account and bring in all of your business assets in there. It's free to use, but you do need a regular Facebook account to actually access and use it too. So I know some people can be a little bit funny about having their own personal Facebook accounts and they only want to use an account to just manage their business. In that case, what I recommend is just setting up almost like a dummy account, a really quiet account that has no friends, no followers, anything like that, just so you can access the platform. And in this Business Manager, as I said, you can bring in all of your Facebook and Instagram accounts all in the one place. So once you're in the Facebook Business Manager, you can then access what's called the Facebook Ads Manager. So the Facebook Ads Manager, this is the sort of the high level overview of like a whole bunch of ads that we're running for a client at the moment. I've just blurred them out for a little bit of privacy, but you can see that it's a good list and a good overview of everything that's actually happening for this client. And they can see the results straight away and how much they've spent on their ads and what results they're getting. So to get an ad started in the Facebook Ads Manager, what you would do is hit Create Ad. And so anyone who's sort of aware of like a sales funnel, it's kind of set out in a similar way with Facebook ads where you can actually choose what you want your customer to do. So Facebook has so much information and so much data about all of us and it even knows sort of what behaviors we're likely to do, that it's going to present your content and your ads to people who are most likely to do that action. So for instance, in the consideration phase, if you were to choose the traffic, it means that people who are likely to click on that link and go to your website. Or video views, people who are likely to watch an extended amount of your video views. So I'll just jump to the next slide there. So the way that Facebook ads are broken up are the campaign level, the ad set level, and the ad level. So what you saw here is the campaign level. This is choosing what action you would like someone to take. So as I said, it's through the sales funnels, the sort of different actions that are possible there. the next is the ad set level. So it's basically setting the rules of the game, is who is actually going to see that content. And I'm going to step into that in a second and show you how you can set that up. And then finally, it's the ad. So it's the actual content that they're going to see. So what I will say is that a big sort of mistake I see a lot of people making with Facebook ads is that they only ever think that ads are for advertising the end product. If you consider the tool, it's more along the lines of, this gives me the ability to actually put content in front of the people who might be interested in it, as opposed to putting just like the ad in front of somebody. You're going to get better results. And that's like what Glenn was talking about. We make videos that have zero sell in them, but we use the ads platform to put them in front of people who are likely to be interested in it. Now, what's really cool and really amazing about this platform is that it's not like a traditional medium where you have to sort of stick with one message and one set of rules. You can have one campaign with multiple sets of rules, multiple ad sets. So we're targeting different people. And then underneath that, we can have different versions of the ad. So what that allows us to do is to see which content is actually working the best. And so what we'll do is we'll set up multiple versions of the same ad with just different points different. So the image might be different on this one, or video, or the text might be different, or the call to action might be different. And what we can do after running the campaign for a little while is determine which one's working the best and which ones aren't quite working. So what we'll do is that we'll take the ones that aren't working and we'll stop them running, and then we'll take the funds from the ones that weren't working and put it behind the ones that were. So once you actually step into the ads manager, the first step is setting up the, so we've already chosen what action we want them to do. In this case, we wanted people to watch more video views. So the next step is to choose who is actually going to see this content. And look, it's quite detailed here. There's a lot of good information there. It might be a little bit scary to start off with, but if you step through things like one step at a time, it's quite intuitive and straightforward. But basically, the first thing we want to do is choose the geography and the age demographics of where people are. So this is the power of Facebook ads, is I can make sure that my content is contained to the people in a certain area. So whereas before, if you were to say, run a television ad that's going to go to the entire Illawarra, it might not be appropriate to people in the northern suburbs. So this here allows me to get better value for my dollar by putting the ad spend in front of people who are much more likely to actually want to see the content. So the next part of it is actually choosing some choosing some targeting. So again, like what I said before, Facebook knows so much about us that they're able to categorize our behaviors and what we do, and actually put together sort of things that people can then target in the ads platform based on people's behavior. So just chose fitness as anyone, but you'll be very surprised at how sort of granular this gets, and you can choose, like occupations and all sorts of things in here. So if you wanted to target certain occupation in a certain geographical area, this is how you actually do it. Now, this is what I will say is that this is part of what Facebook thinks. So it's Facebook's data based on the way people behave, and that's called targeted audiences. The other really powerful part of the platform is what's called a custom audience. So a custom audience means it's people who have previously interacted with your content in a certain way. So I've just put the screenshot up there. There's another part of the Business Manager where you set up these custom audiences. And this is where people who have already maybe been to the website before or already viewed a percentage of your video, you can create these custom audiences of just these people, which means that if you go to then put another ad in front of them, it's only going to go to those people. So you're going to get better value for your money because you're only putting it in front of people who are previously interested in what you're doing. And then probably the most amazing superpower of the custom audiences is that Facebook has a feature called lookalike audiences. A lookalike audience is basically a mirror image of this custom audience of people who haven't interacted with your brand, but act similarly to the people who have. So say if Glenn and I behave exactly the same on Facebook, we do the same things, we like the same stuff and whatever, except I've watched a video and he hasn't. Well, I'm the custom audience and he's the lookalike audience. And so in theory, he'd be likely to still like the same sort of things that I do. And that's a way that you can expand out your audience to people who are likely going to want to do, well, like what you're going to offer. So then the next bit is where the ads actually get placed. So Facebook owns Instagram. And so basically Instagram's a destination for all these ads as well. And you can see, it's quite small, but there's two options basically. There's an automatic placement option where Facebook will handle everything. And then there's a manual placement option. So the automatic placements is one that I actually recommend. It says recommended there as well, because Facebook want you to win, and they're going to learn over time what content you've got, and they're going to put it in front of the right people, because the more that you win, the more you're going to spend on their platform. So I quite often will go with the automatic placements, but what you can do as well is you can actually get in there and choose exactly where you don't want things to appear, including whether you want it on mobile or desktop as well. So after that, it's now time to set your budget. So, and again, the amazing thing about Facebook is that you can get started for very, very cheap. Like, I think it might be as little as $2 a day. You can set up an ad campaign and be reaching people who are potentially interested in what you've got to say. So what we've done here, we've just set a daily budget there of $20 per day, and you can see that it's going to give me a rundown of how it's going to be spent. But what you can see down there as well is there's an audience size. So basically, as I adjust that budget, that audience size will adjust as well. So people often ask me, how much should I spend on Facebook ads? And the answer is however much you're comfortable to spend with Facebook ads, and how many people you'd like to reach. Basically, the more people that you want to reach, the more it's going to cost you, but you're still going to get a result if you go with a lower budget. The other option with that daily budget is you can actually set what's called a lifetime budget in there. And that allows you, say, if you wanted to have a week and spend $100 over a week as opposed to spending, a budget per day, Facebook will then divide up that budget as it sees fit and based on like how people are going. So you might have on one of the days where people are really interacting with your content, well, Facebook will say, all right, well, it's going really good at the moment. Let's put some more money behind that today and drop it off for the next day maybe. So then once we've set our budget, we then jump into the last stage, which is the actual ad. So this is the content that your people are actually going to see. And like I said before, if you treat this as a platform that's putting content in front of people, not necessarily ads all the time, that you're going to get a lot better results. And so by the way that you can create an ad is you can actually create an ad from scratch, where that means that you can bring all the videos and all the photos and everything in yourself and craft that ad in there, or you can actually take an existing post and transform that into an ad and add like a call to action button as well. So if you just take an existing post, you get an option of all the posts that are applicable that you can then put out. The only thing I will say is that when you do take a post, it doesn't necessarily display very well on the different places. So you can see here, these are all the different placement options where this ad's going to appear. And it will appear maybe funny on some and really good on others. And that's where you might want to go back and adjust either the manual placements, or you may want to consider going back and recreating the ad and changing up the content to actually meet the platform. So for example, you've probably seen it when like a small video comes across on an Instagram story. Well, that's when somebody's just simply chosen Instagram stories as a destination for their ad. Whereas if it looks like it takes up the full screen as it still is an ad, that means someone's actually created the content for that platform, and you'll get a much better result if you put the content in the right format for the delivery. So once you've now run your ad, then you're back to the ads manager. So basically, to be able to determine whether your ads are working or not, you're now going to get this real-time live feedback of how much you spent and how it's actually going. So you'll get the reach and impressions, and there are a lot of data points that you can actually tap into. These are just like the basic ones. And you can see here it's set, there's a campaign level, there's a tab there, there's an ad set level and an ad. So you can drill down on any of these levels to see where things are going right and where things are going wrong. Now, you're not going to hit a home run every time, and it's not going to be perfect every time. So this is the idea behind testing and measuring. So you'll put content out there, run some ads to it, put some money behind it, see how it goes. And it might not be going very good, and you'll get the feedback here. So what you can then do is then pivot and adjust and change, change the content, change the video, change the text, and see if that improves it. Because yeah, it's like this real-time feedback that allows you to pivot and adjust and not be locked into that ad spend money. So for instance, if you're spending, you've got $500 to spend and it's really not working after a week or so, you can just pause it, change everything, and then you've still got budget left over. You're not committed to spend that full $500 up front. So I know that there's a lot to go through with Facebook ads, especially on the ads platform. But it's all the information is out there to actually learn and thrive on Facebook ads. So the first thing that I would do though for everybody is just to start a business account and start bringing in all of your business assets into the business account, so you got them all in the one place. The next thing is, if you're up to it, learning it, Google's your best friend. You can pretty much Google any question that you want with Facebook ads. Now, you don't know what you don't know, so it can be a long and tedious route going the Google way, and even YouTube, because you don't know what questions to ask. But once you sort of get on that little bit of a journey, you'll find that you'll start picking things up, and you'll then Google some more things and learn more and more. Or the most effective way, and it's the exact way that I did it too, is to probably attend a training course or do some online training around Facebook ads, because it's basically Googling without wasting time. It's all the information all presented in the one place at the one time, and that's going to give you the fastest results on it. And then alternatively, what you could do is just hire a Facebook ads manager. But what I will say with that is that I still think that every business owner or everyone in charge of a Facebook account for business should have at least some level of understanding of what's going on in the background. They don't need to know the nitty-gritty and the details, but at least they can know that they're not being ripped off and they're not being taken for a ride by somebody who doesn't quite know what they're doing. So even if you were to hire a Facebook ads manager, I still recommend doing a little bit of self-learning on that. But yeah, if you have any questions on that, feel free you can hit us up on the email or join us through Facebook Messenger. So I'll hand you back over, Glenn.
Yeah, no worries. All right, let me just share the screen here back on the slide there so you guys can get the details up. Let's go here. There we go. So look, let me get Wade's email on there too. Basically, look, there's so much information there. I'm really glad that you guys got a lot of information there from Wade, because there is so much to that as well, to the advertising side of it. So there's a lot. Sorry, I'm just going to load this. There you go. You guys have got the details there. So look, there's so much to it, but feel free to reach out. I mean, I think you guys have known by now that Wade and myself, we're not slick salespeople. We're not going to try and lock you into any contracts or deals or anything. We're here to help. We're part of the Kima community. We're born and bred. Both Wade and I grew up in Kima Downs. That's how we know each other. We've known each other since we were kids. We've gone to the local schools and that around here, but basically we want to help you guys. So look, if you just want to ask a question, just reach out, just send us an email. I've been really enjoying doing these Instagram health checks, even though I had so many to do from last week, but just connecting with you guys and just giving you guys feedback on where you can improve, and just hearing your thoughts on and queries on the things that we've talked about in these webinars. So really just reach out and send us an email. If you've got any questions, it's that simple. And today, as we do at the end of all the webinars, Megan has been compiling some questions, I think, through the chat there. So we're going to do a bit of Q&A with Megan, Wade and myself.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for the presentation, guys. Absolutely superb. Just boggles the mind as to the types of facilities and the types of information that is available on Facebook, especially the analytics side of things, and can really help you focus your ads and direct them exactly as you need to for your business. So Carolyn has asked, if I do a live video on Instagram and I have it connected with Facebook, will it appear in Facebook as a live video, or do I need to do a separate one for Facebook?
Yeah, unless there is some magic formula out there that I don't know of, you do need to do two separate videos. I know it's a bit hard, but I will have two cameras going at the same time. I'll get one of my staff's phone, one of them will be Instagram, one will be Facebook, and I will just go for it, and we'll have both of them going at the same time. I know there's gimbals and things you can probably get to mount two phones so you can just hold one thing, but typically we do both at the same time.
Just on that as well, if you have the two accounts connected in the business in the business manager, what you're able to do then is, when we're creating those custom audiences, you can create the audience both from the Instagram Live and from the Facebook Live.
There you go.
Okay, excellent. Also, what are your thoughts on using hashtags to organically increase your post reach?
I'll say something. Wade can probably bring his points on this too. Look, Instagram is massive for hashtags. I use hashtags. I said it in the last webinar. You can use up to 30 hashtags on Instagram, and I'd encourage you to use all of the hashtags in your niche. We don't typically use hashtags on Facebook. It's just, I don't know. I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like it's not as powerful as the hashtags on Instagram. But I wouldn't say don't use them. I wouldn't say there's any rule of thumb there not to use them. We typically don't use them much on Facebook. I find them more effective on Instagram. But Wade, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's I find that most people that I know, and even myself, I don't seek out a hashtag to search a hashtag on Facebook to find content. It's more sort of contextual and appears in your feed. I guess the argument could be made that you're helping Facebook understand what the actual content is, but yeah, to be honest, I never use hashtags in our Facebook posts either.
Which probably rolls onto the next question as to when do you use hashtags and when do you use the @ feature?
Well, the @ feature really is, I mean, you can tag on Facebook. If you want to find someone quickly or find a page that you want to tag or a person you want to tag, you can just hit @ and then that person's name or that business name, and it's a really easy way to find it. But it won't have the @ symbol when you promote it on Facebook, when you tag them on Facebook. But on Instagram, it comes up because you're tagging the actual Instagram username, which has an @ in front of it. So really, you can tag people on your Facebook post, and I would encourage you to do that. Encourage you to tag other businesses, other people who are connected to it, or your staff. I definitely tag people in it so it goes to a wider audience. And you can do the same thing on Instagram as well. And as we said about hashtags, yeah, look, we use them typically a lot for Instagram, but not so much for Facebook. Instagram is, I mean, as we talked about last week, you can really nail down an audience on Instagram by searching through the hashtags on there. There's so many people using hashtags on Instagram. That's really where you can find where your audience is, and that's why we use those hashtags, because people use them a lot on Instagram.
Excellent. All right. Look, that's pretty much all the questions that we have at the moment. I think you've answered them beautifully. There's so much wonderful content in this presentation. We will send out the link to the presentation to everybody that registered for the event, as well as any other information on future events coming up. Guys, that was fantastic. Did you have anything else you wanted to share?
Look, I just want to say, look, it's been amazing doing these things. Thanks to Megan for putting these on. Thanks to my buddy Wade for being a part of this with me. It's great to be able to give back to the local community. I know it's tough times out there, but hopefully this can help you guys to put that time to good use, and to really look at really ramping up your online presence. Now's the time to do it. I mean, everyone's on their phone, everyone's on their computers now. Now's the time to go hard on Instagram, on Facebook, and revamping your website, as we've been talking about. And I just want to say, look, just reach out. There's been a lot of information we've dumped on you guys here, so it might be a bit overwhelming for some of you, but we're only an email away to reach out and just ask any more questions.
Yeah. I'll just say as well that particularly with the Facebook ads thing, it might seem like daunting and scary, but I just encourage everyone just to jump on, at least the first stage, is jump on Google and jump on YouTube and just start consuming some content on how to. It's all there. As I said, training programs are really, really good, but it's all there. And just on the back of the grants program that's coming out, is that if you get accepted for a grant, you'll basically get like some free money to play with. So you can actually test out the platform with that grant without actually going out of pocket to start with. And as I said, it's free to use the Facebook Ads Manager and Facebook Business Manager. It's only you have to pay when you actually want to put an ad out there.
And I'll say too, just one more thing, that look, from everything that you guys have learned today, I would encourage you to just do something today. Just go out there and start Googling Facebook ads, start YouTubing it, start finding out more, or start putting out more content, start doing it, just go live, do a live video, create more video content, make sure you're ramping up your posts. Just whatever it is, do something today, take some action from this webinar. We want to make sure you guys are getting the most out of these webinars that we're doing, and it's all good to be part of it and to listen to it, but we want to make sure you're putting it into action. So do one thing today to help you move forward in the area of Facebook marketing.
Yeah, great. That's great information. Great feedback. It's always good to have the perfect ad, and to have something that you think is perfection. But with that comes a time, and it takes critical time to actually get that perfected. I think that's good advice, just to get it out there. And get that information. A little bit like our webinars, we've been learning on the trot. And I think when you look at the recordings from some of the other events that we've done, they're certainly getting better with each one that we've done. So great work, guys. And look, again, thanks so much for